Daesh militants have attacked several targets in the Iraqi city of Kirkuk. Some of the fighters are believed to be holed up in a building. They've been exchanging fire with Iraqi security forces. 2 suicide bombers killed at least 16 people near a power plant. There were also attacks on police stations and security offices. In its advance to retake Mosul, the Iraqi military says it's recaptured Bartella, a village 15 kilometers east of the city. The Prime Minister of Iraq, Haider al-Abadi, says the offensive is going faster than planned. The city is Daesh's last major stronghold in the country. The militants are fighting back by using snipers and suicide car bombs. Well, let's go to Francis Collings, who's in Erbil. Francis, let's look at this attack on Kirkuk. How could this affect the campaign to recapture Mosul?
Effectively, it's being seen, John, as a distraction, as a way of trying to move the front line down towards Kirkuk and distract the Kurdish Peshmerga fighters, notably from that campaign to recapture Mosul. It started in the early hours of earlier today, where there was an attack on government buildings, on the old police station. As well as that, there was another attack on a power plant to the north of the city, about 40 kilometers to the north, where 10 people were killed. Then 2 Daesh operatives detonated their explosives. Another one was killed by Iraqi police. But there's been mayhem on the streets because they have had a variety of locations across the city centre of Kirkuk, and there's still some that are holding out. It's very concerning, but it is being seen directly as an attempt to distract from the campaign to retake Mosul, which is unlikely to happen, unlikely to be distracted.
It does seem to have come as a major surprise. You were actually there yourself yesterday. What impressions did you get?
Well, going into Kirkuk, we went through the city and then to the south to a secret location because it was where they were holding alleged members of Daesh. They had arrested. There was one man we spoke to. We didn't see his face. We don't know his name. We were taken to a cell where he was being held. He spoke to us voluntarily and answered all our questions about his motivation for joining Daesh. He was telling us he was just a minor member doing security on the streets. Others arrested with him were telling a different story, saying he was a far more significant member of Daesh and had ordered killings. That is yet to be determined. But what was interesting in light of what's been happening in the last few hours in Kirkuk is that this man that we met and others that we didn't meet who didn't want to talk were, according to security forces, part of a sleeper cell in the city and around the city. They said this was a major concern because as Daesh loses its main stronghold, and we're pretty sure that, of course, is going to happen when Mosul does eventually fall one way or the other, the attacks are going to come in different ways. And of course, what we've seen in Kirkuk is nothing unusual. This has been going on for a long time in this country, in the cities, notably in Baghdad. But it was quite interesting that only yesterday when we were there, and it was very difficult getting to this location, we had our phones taken away, we had an armed guard. They made the point there were people within the city who are intent on doing harm, and that proved, of course, quite prophetic.
Francis, for the moment, thank you very much indeed.